Hey everybody, I'm coming to you from my backyard. Yes, I have laundry on the wash lines, and I have an apron on because I'm about to do something kind of gross. Um, so last year in November, I went high fructose corn syrup free. I went for just a month. That was the project, right? Because I have this weird thing with projects. So December 1st came and I decided, oh, I can have ice cream. I had 2 boxes of ice cream in my freezer. So I opened one of them and I ate about 5 spoonfuls and I was like, this is so gross. And so I put it in my sink and I thought I'll clean it up when I get home from work. Well, I got home from work at 10 o'clock at night and I was too tired. So I went right to bed and then I got up the next day and I did everything that I normally do. And then I worked that night. And so I didn't get home again until like 10 o'clock the next night. And it was still sitting in my kitchen sink. And lo and behold, to me, it was still solid. I mean, it wasn't like solid as a rock like it was in the freezer, but it was a solid mass of ugh. And I put my finger in it and I'm like, ew, it is warm, but it is still ugh. And I pulled it out and it was stringy and it was gross. And I was like, and I dumped it in the sink and I still had to use a hot water gun to get it down into the sink. And so I figured out later after eating some high fructose corn syrup candy that I don't like the taste of high fructose corn syrup anymore, because I actually found that I have taste buds now, since I gave up gluten and I gave up high fructose corn syrup, and all of a sudden I can taste stuff. It's bizarre. Do you know that garlic really tastes great? So does basil. I don't know. Anyway, I had another box of ice cream in my freezer. And this one also has cookies in it, so I knew that I couldn't eat it anyway. So I decided a couple days ago to take it out of the freezer and put it in the sink. And I didn't even take the plastic off of it. So I'm now going to do a little experiment, and I have no idea how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to turn the camera around if I can figure out how to. Do I hit that button? No. I don't know how to turn it back around. Isn't that weird? So, I guess I'm going to figure out if I can find where my there's the box. I didn't even take the plastic off of it because I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that I wasn't making the story up. So, how do I get it off? Okay, so this is 3 or 4 days worth of sitting on my counter. Notice it's still pretty solid, mooky stuff. It is not totally liquid like it should be. And the crazy thing is the only solids should have been the cookies, right? Because milk and sugar, when it melts, becomes like syrupy, like a milkshake. So let's So this is corn syrup. And this is what gets stuck in your liver. And this is what causes fatty liver disease. Okay, this entire box is now in a strainer, and there's very little liquid after 4 days of sitting on the counter. It doesn't even smell bad. I mean, I did it outside because I was worried that when I opened it, it was going to reek, but it doesn't even smell bad, which means that there's nothing natural in this box of ice cream. Nothing. If this doesn't convince us that we need to re-examine our food industry and call them out on this, ice cream should just be milk, sugar, and some flavoring, right? You know, some cherries or whatever. I mean, I grew up on a dairy farm and we made our own ice cream all the time, because it was fun. So what's this all about? This is about being cheap. And this is about poisoning America or poisoning the whole world, because until I figured out that fatty liver, actually, when you have a fatty liver, you do not process out B cells correctly, and you get an abundance of B cells. And everyone who knows me knows how sick I was a few years ago, and it was because I had a second, actually maybe even a third, if you want to call it that, B cell autoimmune disease. So I had Hashimoto's to start with, and everybody kept telling me, you can't heal Hashimoto's, just keep taking the drugs. Number two, I then came down with this really crazy illness after getting a new vaccine because I was going to grad school, and then all of a sudden that plus the fact that I was under tons of stress, and plus I was eating shitty, and plus then I did a stupid all juice only juice diet. So I caused my pemphigus vulgaris. I mean, my DNA was the culprit is into what I got, but I purposefully, or I solely caused me getting sick. And I really don't care what other people think, and they go, you shouldn't blame yourself. Well, you know what? Yes, I should, because God didn't tell me to go to McDonald's or Burger King. No one told me to eat high fructose corn syrup on a daily basis. I did that. I made those choices. Okay. I put shit in this mouth that turned into a fatty liver that then made my entire internal system not work correctly. So who's to blame for that? Me. Me. Okay. So this is a part of why I got sick. Not ice cream. High fructose corn syrup in the ice cream. It's gross. And it's in everything. It's in your ketchup. It's in your other condiments. It's in all these things that it doesn't belong in. And it's because our FDA has approved it. It's because our government doesn't really care about our health. And our food industry only cares about the bottom line. And getting real sugar is more expensive than getting high fructose corn syrup made. So if you are interested in getting healthy, eat real sugar. If you're going to eat some sugar, don't eat this shit, because that's what this is. Okay. See ya.